Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. This is Zach from Ground by California. And believe it or not, it is fall, but we are talking endless summer. No contradiction at all. You'll know once we read it because obviously it kind of gets it's still kind of hot. You definitely, I think the October month is probably warmer than May, June. So Vic and I have been to the last couple endless summers, but this year it is expanding the universe. So maybe there'll be an endless amount of endless summer rides. So let's bring on our panel, if you will. We've got Dom here and Vic. And hello.
I got to get a new title, Chief Live Officer. That's
we'll have to have the board approve our titles here.
Right. That's from Cameron Bond, Mr. Cameron Bond.
Oh, cool.
Troublemaker.
Troublemaker.
So I know Cameron held a pre-ride last Sunday for this. Does Cameron actually have a gravel bike?
He has a 1990-something stump jumper that he rides with flat pedals.
Yes, definitely goes his own way.
But if you know Cameron, he races Cat 1 crit racing.
That's why I had no comment on his stump jumper.
That's pretty awesome. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yep. Yep.
Well, as people are piling into this broadcast, if you're on YouTube, you can definitely comment on the side. Also, we can maybe check Facebook. It's just another thing, but we'll be talking about this Sunday's ride out of Peddler's Fork in Calabasas, as well as the one November 9th, which is a Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
Okay. You sound so bummed about that. Saturday is a good day too.
No, Saturday's probably better attendance. Peddler's Fork has a
farmer's market.
Saturdays they have a farmer's market.
Yeah. But this is your first time doing it out of Peddler's Fork. So quick overview. How did this come together out in kind of more Vic and our neck of the woods?
Well, I lived out here for a long time after college, and ironically, we used to meet across the street from Peddler's Fork before Peddler's Fork was there at Starbucks for Wednesday Worlds, and we lived in the valley, so we would just ride 3 or 4 blocks up over the 101, and we'd meet at Starbucks for Wednesday Worlds. And when Robbie opened Peddler's Fork, everybody just started meeting there because maybe it was a little bit after that once they started doing coffee, because they're like, well, Peddler's Fork's right there. They make coffee. Let's just meet in the parking lot there. So we started meeting there for Wednesday Worlds, and fast forward, 10 years. And I was able to spend the winter working remotely in this area, but I'd never really ridden gravel in the Santa Monicas. I had always ridden road, And last fall, I went to a ride there, and I'd already been thinking about it a little bit, and I saw Robbie and gave him a TGIF shirt, and he's like, dude, let's do it. And I'm like, all right, it's done. Let's do it. Let's do a ride. So trying to get more riders, and, we converted you two. You two will ride in resort shirts all the time now.
Exclusively.
What's that?
Exclusively.
So, I don't know. It's a place, an area that's dear to my heart, and it's just so cool to be able to. I think I have like 20 routes on our club account for Ride with GPS that I've made for this ride. And I think you even texted me earlier. I haven't even got the chance to look at it, but it's just been so cool exploring this area and connecting all the roads that we used to ride on our road bikes with dirt in between. It's really cool.
Yeah, I don't ride out there as much as I should because it's so close, and sometimes I overlook it. And also, as valley folk, it's a great escape from the heat that comes 99% of the year to get away from. But the riding is pretty cool, and I feel like Vic and we've covered every road, whether it's Vic's probably covered more being on the mountain bike side too, some of the other trails.
Probably more of the road side out that way, with IBP and just years and years of road riding and doing some organized events, Mulholland Challenge and things like that. So, but yeah, the gravel riding is epic, as you know, and we did Ascendant out there not too long ago, which was great. So yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like I just didn't realize, Peddler Forks has been around for a super long time already.
How long though? You said before you went to a Starbucks before. I don't remember before Peddler's Fork.
It wasn't a Starbucks. There's a Starbucks across the street.
Right.
I don't know the year. I'd have to go look it up.
Yeah, it's probably been, I'm guessing like 9 years already, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Especially like you see a lot of these, you gotta make it through the first few years, but these, bike involved businesses is kind of like hard to pull off, but they're really knocking it out of the park. And oh look, we already got some people chiming in here. Stoked for Sunday. Some peeps have to work Saturdays. Oh, yeah. How about that? See, maybe you should always try and spread it apart. Maybe it's variety. And then, here's a newcomer. Dirt Church.
That's actually Anton.
Our Bora Bora correspondent. If this is Anton, well, I don't think Anton has ridden out here before, has he?
Not much. I don't think so. It's going to be a first for him, maybe.
Yeah. So I was going to, for people watching, I was going to pull up a map and we can kind of like go over the course. And I think it's something that we're all pretty familiar with. And you've got a long and a short course. What are you doing, Vic? The long or the short? Long it is.
There it is.
Long it is.
Decision made.
Yeah. So I'll pull it up right now to our little stage here, and you can kind of walk us through it. But I guess I'll mention to everyone, basically this little appendage here is for the long course. The short coursers will kind of like cut through a center of it and probably miss out on a pretty gnarly climb.
Massive climb.
Yeah, I know. One that always brings a smile to Vic's face, right?
Which one is that?
Paseo Miramar.
Oh, Lord. That's a real chill climb.
Oh my gosh, it's so brutal.
It's so brutal. But at least it has a little house in the. Is that the one with the little house on the road, or is that? Oh no, I confused that with.
Oh no, that's not Zaca Mesa, but it's Puerco Canyon.
Puerco.
This is almost as bad, especially that one paved section that's probably like 22%.
I honestly think it's worse. I think it's worse than Puerco. Puerco's like a little more gradual. Puerco's like once you get up the steep climb on this route, then it's like steep rollers. But the beginning of this is so bad. It's so brutal.
Okay, well we'll break it down when we get out there. But so we're meeting here at Peddler's Fork. I don't have the 3D map on, but
nice.
I don't know. I'm never too clear about the parking policy behind there, so I generally don't park in the parking lot. I either park on the street, or this is a pro tip for you viewers. There's this park and ride lot just on the other side of the Adobe that I park on. But I believe
right there.
Yeah,
or that street right behind. If you zoom out a little bit, right there, there's that road right behind that. There's a ton of parking on right there. There's a little park there with some parking as well.
So we're starting at Peddler's Fork, and we're headed right up Mulholland Highway.
Yeah, because no matter how you spin this route, like going one way, there's pros and cons, and going the other way, there's pros and cons. So we decided to go clockwise this time.
I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
Get the big climb out of the way more early rather than later.
Plus, it's like if you look at the map, it's, if you look, let's see, it's, I think 4 miles to the dirt. Let's see, not even 3.2 miles to the dirt, and we can keep the group together. So that's a big one too, is like we're going to have the long route line up and then the short route line up. Anton will be the leader of the short route because he just got back from vacation on Bora Bora. So, it's cool because we'll have both routes line up. Everybody's doing the same course. And then, like you said, I think mile 8.7, we go straight and the short route will turn off to Eagle Rock. So it's cool because we have a kind of a neutral rollout on the road for 3 miles. Then really, if people want to go fast, slow, however they want to ride, the adventure is theirs after that. They can ride fast or slow as soon as we hit the dirt. I think that was like mile 3.2. So it's kind of a nice neutral rollout until we hit the dirt. But then, like you said, it's very gradual. We got a descent down. Is that Temescal?
Yeah, we go ahead. We turn down. Well, first we go to what's the junction up here, Vic?
The hub.
Yeah. And that is kind of where the two rides will split, right?
Yeah. So we'll do neutral rollout 3.2 miles, and then the route split at mile 8.8. The route split. Long route goes straight. Short route turns right.
Okay. So then from here, I guess we do kind of pass the Backbone Trail, then kind of get some rollers along Temescal Fire Road. Yep. And then we cut down, I can't remember the name of this road. I've actually never gone down it. I've been up it multiple times. But I don't think I've ever gone down it. Typically, when I do go down, I go further down to Mescal, and then there's like a short little dirt road. That way, you get a little bit more ridge riding. That's more for the views than anything. But there are some sharp turns. But this is I mean, I know climbing it has never been like too difficult. So I imagine going down it will be pretty fun too.
Yeah, it's a little bit loose. I think everything's a little dry right now. So that kind of sandstone stuff's just a little bit loose pretty much everywhere. But it was fun. A lot of switchbacks. Jason and I ripped down it. And then you get down to the road, and it's kind of nice because you've been climbing a little ways, but a little bit of a break there down that road descent.
And there's a Starbucks here in case somebody really wants a coffee.
And a Vons.
Yeah. And then a little bit of Sunset Boulevard. So, very touristy.
Luckily, it's pretty short. It's like, it's like downhill, which is kind of nice.
And so, this is where I guess the fun begins.
Yeah.
The pain train. I know it's not too hard to really get lost here. You just basically keep winding your way up. But I know there is that one part. It's around a really cool house around here where it gets really steep for a little bit. But that's road. And then I've made videos, I think, of like every single mile of this, but I believe the climb to the top is about 2 miles, but it is in the double digits for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for people that are real tourists, this is a real great lookout over here. Not really much climbing, but I'm guessing people will proceed.
There is a bathroom there.
Huh?
There is a bathroom right there.
Yes. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Boom.
Yep.
So free bathroom, right?
And at the hub too. There's one at the hub and there, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. So Then this part along Paseo Miramar is pretty rolly-ish.
Yeah, there's some kickers, but after the 15 or 18% kicker, when you get on the dirt right there, it seems like you're on a 5% grade. You're like, oh, this isn't even steep. You look at your computer, it's like 8%.
And so then we kind of like loop around. I know it's kind of like a steep descent into the HQ here of Topanga, and this is where we would probably meet up with the short course.
Mm-hmm.
So we're making their way down to the parking lot, and there are restrooms and water fountains here, although you may be sharing them with bumblebees.
Yeah, there's a lot of hornets on that fill station right there.
So you definitely have to, but we're about mile 22. So so then I guess we dip down quickly. This is really fast, and people have to be really careful on the downhill.
Yeah.
But then New Topanga to Old Topanga.
Yeah, it might be worth grabbing a bottle there at Trip It Ranch, in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Because the aid station will be at like mile 28 for the long route and probably already, 35 to 4,000 feet of climbing. It'd be a lot of climbing by the time you get there. At least 2/3 of the climbing already done. And so it might be worth just filling up one bottle because you got to climb Red Rocks. But the aid station will be at mile 28. But yeah, you got to go up Topanga, Old Topanga, and then you turn off to Red Rocks, which they graded.
Oh, really?
They did. Yeah, they graded that. So, like I said, a little bit of that like moon dust on top, but it is graded, which is nice.
Did they grade the steepness off of it?
They graded that part that was like crazy steep, but it was just like rutted and it was exposed rock. Yeah, they graded that whole thing.
Oh, so I was just kidding. Oh, that's good.
Kind of nice. Yeah. You could slip out a little bit in some of the spots, but it seems less steep because they graded that rock out of it.
Oh.
So, it's kind of nice. But yeah, that'll always after that other climb, that's definitely going to hurt a lot more than it would normally.
Yeah. So if you're new to the area, this is another big highlight. Just obviously the Red Rocks is really cool in the middle of it. Properly named. How about that? But then we make the left turn here, which can be a little steep down, but not as steep as if you made a right turn up Calabasas. Which is another road I've never gone down.
We went down that last weekend.
Oh boy.
Which one?
Calabasas Peak. This one here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've gone up that.
Yeah, it's rocky on the way down and super steep.
They graded that too.
Really?
Yep.
We were just there.
The section where it used to just be a rock face? You come around the left-hand corner.
Uh-huh.
They put a pipe in because it just eroded from the rain. They put a pipe in and covered it in dirt and like fixed the whole corner. And then you come around the corner and you're like, oh, I got to walk my bike. And it's actually, they graded it.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sure this winter that whole rock face will be back and it should probably just be washed out again. But it's kind of cool. Yeah, they graded that whole section there. But when you come down that and you hit Stunt Road right there, there's dirt like right when you pull off the road. So we're either going to have the aid station right there. I don't know about people crossing the road right there because people drive like absolute maniacs on Stunt.
That's a bad spot.
But if you keep going, another way, there's a turnout on the left-hand side there. Yeah. So we'll have an aid station right before that.
Okay. Yeah. So we're about 30 miles in and hitting road for a little bit. And then I guess if people really want to bail out, they could just make a right turn here and go straight back to Peddler's Fork, up 7 Minute Hill too, which is a good.
Yep.
But
That's okay.
I'm just saying. So then we're going on Mulholland for a little bit, and then we're dipping down. This section's pretty fun too. Connecting to Piuma.
That's a really cool road.
Is that Cold Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great road.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's
a couple little rollers, but nothing steep. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You can usually, if you get in a super tuck, you can usually kind of get your way most the way up the other side, and then right when you hit Piuma, there's a fire station there too where you can fill up water as well.
Yep.
There's a lot of places to fill up on this route too, besides the aid station.
Yeah. And so then we turn on to Piuma, and then here's the one thing I just messaged you is there should be right before you hit Las Virgenes, there should be a little trail that takes you under.
Oh yeah, trust me. I've ridden it many times and is no longer passable.
Oh really?
Unless you want to walk your bike for a half a mile in the sand.
Oh, it's not a half mile.
From there all the way to there?
Just underneath?
Mm-hmm. It just turned into a river, 2 winters ago, and there's just logs, and there's 4 inches of sand, 5 inches of sand all the way across.
All right.
Gideon from Peddler's Fork actually warned me, and I was like, okay, I'll go see how bad it is. And I rode it, and he was definitely right. I was like, this would not be fun.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah. I wish.
Yeah. So then we're, I guess, looping in. We're now kind of in Malibu State Park, and although there's a lot of infrastructure there, it's probably hidden behind the trees. But then we kind of make our way up, and this is a little it's not overly technical climbing up, I would say, but it does take a little bike handling and a little bit of emptying your gears on the way out. But this is a fun little climb.
Yeah, they put essentially the open space folks have put like rocks in the super, like the hairpins, so that people don't go flying off the cliff when they're descending it, which is really smart. But when you're climbing it, they've also put like some like rocks down, like pavers almost. So when you're going up it, you really got to like come wide and pick your line and go straight over it, just like 2 corners. But otherwise, it's like straightforward. I wouldn't say it's technical. It's a little steep, but it's not technical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a little rock maneuvering in there, but yeah, nothing to be overly scared about. Unless I add in a few more colorful adjectives. And then we kind of like make our way out. We kind of go by the campground here, and
there's a couple. Hold on, go back a little bit. When you're descending down into the campground, there is a couple tight turns now when you're going down that. For sure.
Okay. There's
a couple hairpins over there. So if you got someone following you, you might just want to call it out. I had someone following me, and they were so stoked we got down, and this one person was like, "Oh man, I almost like went completely off the side of the cliff." So if you're doing a little party wave through that section, just holler it out for your friends. But it's pretty right there, and you come down through the trees there after that last hairpin, and you come out into the parking lot. Where the campsite is, and then there's just a fire road that runs all the way along there.
Mm-hmm. And then and then it may look like we're going the long way around, but this is the best way around. I never used to go this way, and I felt really bad I got left out, but that little bridge that's over here definitely cuts the grade out. And yeah, this is a nice little back way to get out of the park.
It's super pretty too. I like going both ways, but the view towards the MASH site from there, like, just make sure you like put your head up and you look to your right when you come around that corner before you get to the top, because it's beautiful up there.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the places you wish there were more trails to ride to get into this part. So then we come back, we cross our friend Mulholland again.
Yeah, you get some double track that just rolls all the way through there, across Mulholland. Don't miss the turn because it's literally right after you turn onto the road and turn off the road. And then you got some double track that goes all the way up and around. I don't know what that parking lot is, but you jump on the road real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You jump back on the double track. There's that service road there in that parking lot. I'm not sure what that area is right there, but then you come across and you cross the river.
Now that's my question. Like, is it a river right now? I haven't been there in a little bit.
Nah, it's like 2 inches of water, 3 inches of water.
Okay.
But it's tricky because, as that erodes more and more, the one side is like a lot steeper. The embankment's a lot steeper. So going the way we're going is actually a little bit easier, but you got to hit it perfect.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. I always like not being the first person. Oh, I'm just going to check my Garmin here and for go ahead.
Yeah. Or last weekend there was like 10 people. They're like, "Come on, someone's got to do it." And I'm like, "Oh no, everybody's watching me."
Yeah. And then I never know the name of this trail, but I remember it famously. Was it about 3 years ago when we were riding it for one of our first big send-its? It was the same day that Kobe got hit by the Kobe crash happened on the other side of Las Virgenes. Yeah, totally weird, abstract day because we heard all the sirens and we had just passed a crash, so we just figured that the crash was for the side of the ambulances were servicing the other thing, and then probably found out about an hour after it happened. So, yeah. So then we kind of like make our way.
It's just called Las Virgenes Trail. It just goes all the way along Las Virgenes, double track, rolling, one little kicker in the middle. You pop out at the park. There's a bathroom there too.
Great bathroom, great
restroom. Yeah, right there. You kind of turn right real quick, make a U-turn. And then there's actually a little kind of horse trail there that you turn off on, and it just goes behind these businesses, and it just runs all along there and for like a mile. And then you pop back out and jump on Las Virgenes again and just go all the way down till it dead ends.
Vic, did you want to ask if we're going to stop by the Erewhon there or not, or just keep rolling?
Yeah, we need an Erewhon stop.
Okay.
I mean, get a $25
water.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Okay. And
there is a Vaughn's there too, or an Albertsons. So if you are like cracked at that point, there's a Starbucks and an Albertsons in that parking lot right across the street when you come out the trail.
Now I've actually never ridden that trail before. Are there horse users there you have to contend with?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. You said horse trail.
I just say that because it's very curated and it's got little, they brought in gravel, So it's I've never seen a horse on there, and a dozen times I've ridden it. I haven't ever even seen anyone walking on it, to be honest with you. But it's just a little service trail behind those businesses there.
Sometimes the equestrians don't take too kindly to cyclists.
Oh, I know. Well, mainly because people blow by them super fast and don't slow down.
I know, but I've actually stopped sometimes and still get the side eye and like, God, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Share the road.
It does look like it's a place where you would probably take your horse because you're pretty far from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But when we get to the very ending here, the open Las Virgenes Open Space Park, Now people can, if they want, can make a right turn here, and my panning is not working. There we go. They can just kind of like parallel the 101 and take this all the way back. But
that's Moreau, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will take you straight back, and you can see Peddler's Fork in the background here.
Oh yeah.
Here we go through a barrage of apartments, and there are a couple of restaurants there too. But then we're cutting right into the park and kind of making a straight line up through Victory.
Yep.
And
nothing steep. It's not nothing in there is super steep. I don't think anything got over like 8% in there, and if it did, it was very short. So I was quite impressed because when we added that loop, because you had sent me a route with that on it, it only added, I think, 100 feet of climbing over that whole, like 150 feet of climbing in that whole thing. So it wasn't much climbing.
Yeah, I know. Like Moreau has like a couple really steep pitches.
Yeah, before you go over the freeway, it's steep. But
yeah.
Have I been on this, Zach? I don't remember this.
I'm sure we've been up it. I think sometimes we've kind of cut across. I know we've definitely gone down it. I know maybe the other reason is that time we showed up to that Peddler's Fork night ride that we thought was for gravel. But
yeah. Oh my God. Dudes had like enduro bikes and downhill bikes, and we showed up on gravel bikes. They were looking at us like, are you on the right ride?
Who are these guys?
Well, we did the whole ride in the dark, no suspension, didn't know where the hell we were. And we lived, and they were so impressed.
You mean you two did the ride and they rode by themselves?
No, we stayed with them.
Yeah.
We stayed with them.
We weren't too far behind, but
we stayed with them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was nuts.
But it wasn't this was a small part. I know we kind of did some more single track, and at nighttime it was pretty scary.
This is all Fire Road.
Yeah, this is Fire Road, complete opposite. But there are a lot of hikers here, so that's another reason not to go count. The other direction is that you're descending among a bunch of them. There are a couple spots where I guess you do kind of like get some rolling action in there, but for the most part, it's climbing, it's clean, and should be fine. But definitely, you'll be whizzing out of here.
It's a ripping descent.
Coming off of the trail, what road is that?
That's Victory.
That's where Victory dead ends.
Yeah.
And then basically it's just bike lane all the way back, and boom, we're heading back there. So are there going to be tables reserved for people out there, or?
No, they have brunch. So we're buying we got 80 burritos.
Oh wow.
So we'll have tent and tables, and it's a perfect segue that you brought it up, because it's something I want to talk about a little bit more. Was like, our weekly rides have always been, a weekly ride. We try to throw some themes in there and t-shirt rides, and when we partner with Ostroy for one of the rides, we give away like a resort shirt or a crop top. With the Endless Summer and the Far Out rides in Boulder, I think maybe we haven't really talked about it or marketed it enough, but it's like the whole point of the Endless Summer was like having a ride that was something between your weekly group ride and Steamboat Gravel or, Unbound. And, we go out to those rides and we support some of those rides, and we do shakeout rides with some of those rides. And they're amazing. They have 4 aid stations, you got an aid station every 20 miles. But for a lot of people, the barrier to entry is really high on these events. it's $250 for the day. You got to take, a couple of days off of work. You got to take PTO. It's a $500-700 on a flight. You got to get a rental car. You got to get an Airbnb. I mean, that's a $2,000 weekend. And for a lot of people, the barrier to entries, that's pretty high. I don't know how many people could afford, multiple $2,000 weekends to go to these gravel events. So we love going to them. The vibe's amazing. And, what these folks have curated is phenomenal. And I can't even imagine having to pull permits and how long it takes to put these events on. But it's like, how can we have a ride that's something between your weekly gravel ride and a steamboat or an unbound or, a Big Sugar that just happened this weekend? How can we have something between that folks can come out and like, okay, we've got two routes. You got a long route and a short route. You've got one fully stocked aid station. So if you start with something, a couple gels and a couple bottles, you're going to have enough to get to the aid station. And you get to the aid station, it should get you most of the way back. And people could come out and challenge themselves and have a semi-supported ride that's something between, your weekly gravel ride and your steamboat or your unbound or your Big Sugar ride, And luckily, we've been able to get some brands on board to help support and pay for this because, we've got burritos after and a fully stocked aid station. So I think it's cool. I hope more people talk about it and we can get more people to come out and we can get more people to support these rides. And maybe in the future, we'll have even more aid stations. But, it's something I think it's like the barrier to entry is pretty low. If you can drive here, then you split gas with a couple people, have a couple friends go with you. The barrier to entry is pretty low. If you don't finish, you don't finish. Just come out. Like a lot of people get scared and they're like, oh, I can't do that. For the far out rides in Boulder, they're huge. They're like 6-hour rides, and it's all at elevation. And I just tell people, I said, just come out. If you can do 3 checkpoints, cool. Just come out. Just come out and try. The barrier to entry is so low, you don't have to spend. It doesn't cost a single penny to come out and do this ride. And we're going to have a fully stocked aid station. For the far out rides, we did custom bottles and we did top caps. So when you finished, you got a custom top cap, kind of as like a little badge of honor.
That's cool.
And so I just kind of wanted to reiterate that a little bit because I think a lot of people don't know that. One of my dad's friends brought it up and he said, oh, this is free. And I said, yeah, it's 100% free. We want to have something in between your weekly group ride and, something that you pay for, like one of these big events. So I hope more people come out. It's going to be fun. We got some volunteers hosting the aid station who are also local cyclists. And we'll have some burritos and sodas afterwards.
How many people are you expecting?
We got close to 80 so far. Hopefully after this, we'll be at 100.
So 20 people are going to go hungry.
20 people aren't staying after. You know how many people will be in their car driving? This is Los Angeles, baby. I got somewhere to be. They won't even be undressed. They'll be sitting on the 101 in their kit still and their helmet on.
Peace.
Well, I know a little shout out from Trevor here from Lead Out.
Be the vert.
That's been a
supporter.
What is the vert? So it's 40 something miles, and what are the stats?
We got 49 miles, 5,600 feet, and we've got 38 and I think about 38. Yeah, 38. So take that with a grain of salt though, because I exported the GPX and put it into Strava for the shakeout ride. And we actually did about 4,000 feet in 38 miles on last weekend. So I don't know. That's what we got.
So you think it'd be more vert?
It could be. We'll see. We shall see. We're going to give away a bunch of prizes afterwards too. Giordana gave us a bunch of swag. Rita's going to have some of their bikes on display there. And Lead Out's going to be giving away some bags. So
nice.
Free food, aid station, and giveaways.
I haven't even. Amanda, our friend, was saying hello, so hello back.
That's a cool little hello.
Yes.
Avatar thingy.
I think she's at the Magic Kingdom. So thanks for taking the time. And
Thanks,
then the weather. I haven't even checked the weather. It's been so god awful nice the last few days. And
today was awesome.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like
today, perfect.
If you have any crazy weather, it's the top 3 news stories, even in this election cycle.
Yeah.
In Southern California, that they break in. So I haven't heard anything about a heat wave, but if it's about where we are right now, should be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 63 when we start, and the high is 76. So
perfect.
It doesn't get much better than that.
That's perfect.
Might be a little overcast, but you know what? We had to postpone once because the high was 105.
Nope.
Can you imagine that top climb in the valley exposed 105? There's no way. So looks like the weather will be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you go through so many different microclimates on this route, especially when you're kind of like dipping back into like the creek areas that you could really think that you're going to be fine, and then 1 minute later you're just frying out there.
Well, I got about close to 40 gallons of water for the aid station, so it's probably more than we need, but I'd rather have too much, not enough.
Mm-hmm. And then quickly, not that we'll go into too much detail, I know the one that's in Laguna, change of venue this time, the Laguna Beer Company starting out.
Laguna Beer Co is central, so it's kind of cool because if you do pull up the routes, like we're going to ride in Crystal Cove and Laguna Coast Wilderness. So now we're able to put, both trail systems together in one ride. It's about almost the same vert. It's just a little bit of more mileage on the long route. So it seems like it's maybe a little bit more spread out. 55 miles, 5,600 feet. And the short route, I think, is 38. They're almost identical in terms of both rides with long and short route. So the short route on the Orange County edition has more dirt for what it's worth. But I think it's going to be really fun. We're going to try to do some pizzas for that ride afterwards for everybody. And we're going to still do some giveaways.
Wait a second. Did you break this to somebody else first? Because somebody here heard about the pizza station. I'm not breaking news.
That's funny. I wish. But we might have Rivian on board for that ride, which would be cool if their crew comes out and hosts an aid station. So who knows? You might get some surprises at this aid station for Orange County.
Oh, wonderful. One last thing I want to bring up. We could go into depth about our Catalina experience, but that's we don't have enough time for that. But
no, let's talk about it.
It was a little bit more separate than I think.
Dom. Where's Dom?
Yeah. But you did make the video, so
yes,
and you did give some great footage that got added.
I was going to say you got some good drone shots out of it.
Yeah, was out of battery.
Yeah.
But it was about a little over a month ago, we were up in Mammoth. And was that your first time? I know you've done the road, but was that your first time riding dirt up there?
Yeah. I mean, I think you meant sand.
I had 55s on. I had a pretty jolly time.
That was perfect.
And,
yeah.
I think it was a little sandier than other years, but I think considering some of the other roads that you could be riding out there, it's far more tame than other areas you could be riding out there. But I don't know. Vic had a good time.
I had 40s and I thought I was going to die.
No. You almost finished on the podium though, right?
Huh?
You almost finished on the podium?
Did I?
Age group or?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was ninth.
Oh,
Was I ninth?
Okay. Well, top 10 finish is still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was third. I was third in my age group.
Oh.
I was third in my age group, and I was like 25th over. I forgot. But there was no podium, so it didn't matter.
Oh.
I think the elevation's the biggest factor in that one.
By far.
Everyone coming from sea level. Luckily I'm pretty close to the same height as Jace, so he was drafting off me the whole time.
That's hilarious.
Him and Anton. Anton was sitting behind us too.
I would love to drop behind Anton. I would never feel anything.
Right? Well, Anton's got this. Oh my gosh, he's funny.
45s.
Anton just got his custom shoes made, so he's riding flips now. So we're in trouble.
I heard about that.
I saw.
Yeah. I think I got if Amanda's still here, I got a request for next year. I think one of the routes should go up the road climb and come down that single track because that is so cool.
Which single track?
This when you climb up the road towards the resort and you come down that single track that I think you guys rode it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called downtown.
That's got to be on one of the routes next year.
That will be epic.
That is so cool.
There won't be any passing though.
Yeah, I know it would be cool.
You know, at the end, you come up and maybe that's like the long route or something, and it comes up and it finishes down that single track. It'd be so cool.
Yeah,
because it finishes right into town. You know,
right? It finishes right at the village.
Yeah.
Or somebody could hold a pre-ride that they could join if they liked.
We did.
Well, then we could really put it in the shakeout ride.
Well, it's. I think I understand why not, because you just can't have too many people on there.
Well, by the end of the ride, it's going to be like ones and twos, you know.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of people. It'll be a hell of a parade.
Yeah, it
would take like 2 hours.
When there's hikers,
we call that a party wave.
Oh.
And I don't know how much you mountain bike, but people follow themselves down all the time, ripping down single track together.
Well, for sure. I mean, I had only mountain biked Mammoth before what we did Mammoth Tough in 2022. What was the first one? 21,
22.
I had only mountain biked for like 15 years. I go every year to mountain bike. But
I vote for the single track.
I did
long route. Amanda, long route, single track. Finish.
Well, Vic and I actually went up a couple weeks after Mammoth Tough, and we got to ride with Dave, and he showed us an even more single track that was pretty cool too.
Really cool. Some of it I'd ridden on a mountain bike, but some of it I hadn't, and on the gravel bike was a whole different experience.
Okay. Oh, we have a question from Zachary R. What time does it start?
Zachary R.
Yeah.
Are you talking in the third person?
Oh, did I write myself my own question and not realize it was me?
I was thinking about starting it earlier, but with how bad parking is in that area, I don't know. I think we'll roll at 9.
Okay. I'm so glad you said that, because I'm thinking, where the hell am I going to park? It's going to be a pain to park and try and get to roll out at 8. It's going to be a lot.
So we'll do 9 rollout. We'll try to do the course talk, at like 8:45 or 8:50, and then roll at 9.
Perfect.
I was going to say, do not park in the parking lot at Peddler's Fork, because Gideon will be very upset. So please don't park in the parking lot. Park in the surrounding streets. I'm going to send out a ride guide on Friday night with all the information for the ride. So where the aid station will be, there'll be a ton of information in there. Start with enough to get you through, 2 to 3 hours of riding, depending on which route you're doing. And we'll have, a stocked aid station. I'm going to Costco tomorrow.
Jeez. How many more days is this? Wow, we still have some time. Great. Great.
Yeah. And please wear a button down, wear something fun, wear something different. Just ditch the jersey for one day. We got Zach and Vic to do it a couple years ago.
Well,
and now they ride all the time.
A button down like a tuxedo shirt.
No, just something different. Just a tech tee, a button down. I'm gonna wear a Hawaiian shirt because that's the theme. Come out and have some fun. I promise. One day, not in a Lycra jersey, and you'll have the most fun you've ever had.
Okay. I will be sporting a Hawaiian GBC shirt. And if
there you
people
go.
are interested in that, I'm working on getting that out to the public. Hopefully it'll be available by the end of the week. Not in time for the ride, but it's got the wheels in motion on it. So Vic kind of helped me with the colors too. So but yeah, I had to make sure that the shirt was in good quality before I could try and put it out there. So I give it thumbs up.
I think I saw you wearing a sample.
I think you saw. Oh, maybe I did for the shakeout ride, right? Yeah, for the Ed Mammoth Tough. Yeah.
Mammoth Tough, yeah.
Yeah, I dig it. It's one of those things. Sometimes you wear something that you like enough that you don't wear it enough because you're afraid of wearing it. So that's kind of like where I'm at. I probably need to buy a second. I'll be one of those guys who wears this stuff all the time. Anyways, well, Dom, thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to Sunday I'll get there before 8:30.
I have one more question.
Uh-oh.
Very important. Are any of those vegan? I mean, any of those burritos vegan?
I asked for 30 veg burritos, but let me make sure that maybe 10 of them are fully plant-based.
Vegetarian is not vegan, so make sure.
Well, I said veg, but yeah, you're right. I know.
Because they'll put cheese or egg on it, and no, please no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you just leave the cheese off. You know what I mean? So it should be easy.
Yeah, if you can modify, I'm cool with that. But if it's mixed in, it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And people that are watching right now, we're not going to wait for a response.
No, because when I get off this call, I got other things to do. So message sent.
Do it, Dom.
Smoke signals.
All right.
All right, Dom. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. GBC Land. Hope to see you out there this Sunday out of Peddler's Fork or November 9th out of Laguna Beer Company. All you got to go is go to thankgravelsfriday.com, fill out the waiver, get all the information, and check out their calendar for other rides as well.
And get your resort shirts now.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. Thanks for joining.
You.
Peace.
All right. And